All right, we're off and running, and the Tigers did it again. The witchcraft continues.
Team of Destiny.
The Team of Destiny. Don't try to figure it out. Don't wonder why this. And someone was giving me grief, like, Neil. I'm summing this up because it was way earlier in the show. Neil, don't you feel dumb that you gave up on the Tigers? There is not a person in this city that didn't give up on the Tigers.
Nobody expected.
Yeah, literally everyone.
Not a person in the city. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
We don't. And for everyone that's jumping back in, welcome. Because I will say this to the texter. No one in this city spends as much time on the Tigers as I do. I am involved in any form and fashion. Radio, taking the kids to practice, TV when I get home, working on games that I got to call, all of it. I'm in. It's my soundtrack of summer. Even if they were still 10 games under 500. That's how I roll. But anyway, with all that being said, Sean, I threw my hands up in the air last night. They get down again. Wink, wink for the people that we talked about. Mm-hmm. In the swing trade market, sports swing trade market, there was another opportunity that cashed yesterday. But anyway, Sean, just bottom line, we've never seen this before. I honest to God, you and I are roughly the same age. I have never seen a run like this before that came out of nowhere. Because even when the Lions would do it under Wayne Fontes, you knew, because that's the way Wayne Fontes operated. This run the Tigers are on, I'm not going to analyze it between the lines. I've never seen this before.
No, and it's the opposite of 2006 because, Spenny, when you brought up Team of Destiny, I couldn't help but think of 2006, and that was the mantra. But in 2006, it was like they got hot after Leland had that meltdown when they lost to the A's, and then it was like, can they hang on? Can they hang on? And we know how that regular season ended. I mean, they fell flat on their face. All they had to do was win a game. You know, I mean, really, that's all they had to do. And that last weekend, I always said it was the worst atmosphere I've ever been in at a game when they blew that 6-0 lead to the Royals on the last day of the year.
I was there also.
You had Bonderman on the mound, and they literally crawled into the playoffs. And then the switch was flipped. And they pounded the Yankees those three straight games after losing the first game. Swept the A's. We all remember the Maglio homer. So this is like the
shout out Milton Bradley.
This is like the anti-2006 because this team gave you no signs of anything. Whether you want to admit it or not, I'm with you, Neil. I know there are a lot of people taking victory laps and patting themselves on the back. If you just be honest with you don't even have to be honest with me or Neil or Spenny or KG. Be honest with you. Your fandom was allowing you to say, hey, this is a good ball team because it wasn't anything that they were showing you. That is a fact. That's just truth. And it's okay. Like you said, it's okay. If you're one of those guys, pat yourself on the back and, hey, this is great. I'm just a Tiger fan. I'm a believer. But this, the way they're doing it, you know, and I joked that Bo Brisky pitches every gosh damn day.
They've been 1.5 starters since the trade deadline.
It's insane.
They sold at the deadline.
It's insane. Love every second. It's not finished yet. This is not. I know that things are favorable for them. Make no mistake about it, especially when you look at the remaining games. Yeah. Those 3 games against the White Sox have me, all kinds of happy.
Baltimore don't want to see us right now.
I don't think Baltimore wants to see anybody right now.
Anybody wants to see us right now.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing. So let's see how it works out, but this is real. This is not artificial. And there are probably going to be people out there that are going to play you Tiger fans, stop it. No, you stop it. This is absolutely real. This team has a legit shot of going and playing in the wild card. It's insane.
I want this to be my time for my daily reminder, and I'm going to do this every day throughout the rest of the year. We've graduated from Javi Watch to this.
Oh.
This is my following statement. A.J. Hinch is manager of the year. He's manager of the year. A.J. Hinch is manager of the year. The best manager in Major League Baseball. You cannot even convince me of anything else. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Look at what he's doing and who he's doing it with.
Yep.
He's manager of the year. He is manager of the year.
Now, is he manager of the year even if they don't pull it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right now, today,
I just wanted to hear it.
Last week, next week, next Saturday, next Sunday, next Monday, He's manager of the year.
Yep.
This is absurd. What A.J. Hinch has done, I'll say this, and maybe this is extra, but I don't care because it's how I feel. What A.J. Hinch is doing, managing this team, is one of the greatest performances we've ever seen in this city. If you want to boil it all down, it's one of the greatest performances we've ever seen in this city. The way he manages through. They have 1.5 starting pitchers.
Legitimate.
1.5.
Legitimate. That's real. And you know, let's face it, all of these guys, okay, if you look at each one of these young players coming in, this guy has a 2-week hot span, that guy has a 2-week hot span, this guy goes away, this guy comes in. It is literally when he steps down, it's like the pedal bike, right? Mm-hmm. Neil can't keep up. We're 2 miles in.
Damn it, Neil.
So KG comes in and says, you know what? I got to pound a little bit. Spenny comes in and says, I got to pound a little bit. Now, there are guys, Riley Green's playing the role of me in the pedal bike situation. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep, no matter how hammered I am, must do this. Neil's fucked up. And that's kind of like Riley Green right now. I mean, it's insane. Because, I mean, seriously, look at all their numbers for the baseball geeks out there and, you know, that pay attention and that are all in. Watch, this guy will have a week, that guy will have a week. Torque will have 2 weeks, and we'll go, oh, yeah, he's back, and then he'll come back down. It's insanity. And Neil, that's why I'm not going to argue too much about what you just said. You can't. I mean, A.J. Hinch has been performing witchcraft for a while now. It's fascinating to watch.
And we've seen the calls that he's made, or the guys he's brought up, benefit this team. Like you said, all these different guys. Wenzel Perez, when he came up, he's tearing the cover off the ball. Valade came up and had an insane week. Justin Henry Malloy came up and did some things.
Who do we have? Bobby Joe Lee or who was Buddy Joe Lee?
Buddy Kennedy made some plays.
Sean, like 2 weeks ago, they brought a pitcher into the game, and I didn't know who he was.
Right?
Hannafy was dealing.
He was, yeah.
It's like you said, Bo Brisky's been lights out.
I watch this team all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was.
You're finally getting...
I sounded like Paul Bear right there.
Reese Olson's healthy. He's coming back. Casey Mai's healthy. He's coming back.
Yep.
Montero has looked lights out.
You want a stat? I was listening to the flagship today, and I heard this stat.
Come on, Sam. Hit us with a stat.
Since the All-Star break, Keider Montero's got a lower ERA than Corbin Burns, who started the All-Star game in front of Tarek Skubal, by the way. Yeah. But anyway,
Where's he right now?
I digress. It's witchcraft. I don't want to explain it. It's more fun to just ride the lightning.
100. There's no... In our job, sometimes we have to sit up here and try to make sense of the nonsensible. I don't want to. I don't want to. I mean, let's acknowledge that this shouldn't be happening. But I'm with you. I'm just going to, you know what, I'm going to sit back and enjoy this. Mm-hmm. You know, I miss having the season tickets. You know, we had season tickets for years. My son went away to school. I knew my daughter and my wife had no interest in going to the games with me, so we got rid of them. My gosh, going down there on a daily basis during some of those runs was phenomenal. And we're back to that point. And I hope being the key and operative word, that subsequently that aura comes back. That atmosphere comes back, because I'm going to tell you, if you haven't experienced it yet, that atmosphere at Comerica Park,
nothing like it.
Honest to God, there really isn't. And consider the source, okay?
Playoff baseball is amazing.
It's different.
Is bunting. Mm-hmm. I get wood overlooking at bunting. Why? That red, white, and blue bunting hanging from, the different decks and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you get legitimate wood. It's a special time. It's fantastic. And, I think back to that era. Kids, and KG, you were a younger man. Spenny, you were a younger man. I mean, for a lot of kids around here, they grew up with, well, it's October. Yeah, of course the Tigers are going to be at home at Comerica Park, right? I mean, those were your formative years, and they were in 11 and 12 and 13 and briefly in 14 when anybody with half a brain in their head knew that the run was over. But I digress. It looks like those days are here again, and there's no reason now at this point, more coming up about this later, there's no reason at this point, Neil, for me to think that this is going to take a big step back. This is a team that's going to be in the mix, I think, for the foreseeable future. And that is what has me more excited than anything.
No doubt. And the time will come, Sean, and we always do this on this show. You guys come to like it and expect it. The day the season ends, I take a snapshot of the financials and where they sit and everything like that, and we take a look and we sit down and see. But that is down the road. I got caught up yesterday with my little Alavila loyalist group. And to be fair,
It popped me every time you say that.
A couple of them reached out to me and said, hey, there's only one in this group that are enjoying the fruits of Alavila's labor, and it ain't us. So so Griff and Jack, I'm sorry I lumped you in. I owe you an apology for that. That's just Colin.
It's real. Like it is real to see some people out there. It is almost like the Iron Curtain. Really, it just the stuff that they're putting out there is somehow applauding Al Avila. It's mind-boggling to me. It's insanity.
No.
Oh my goodness gracious! I mean, come on.
If he was still here, they would have never developed into what they are starting to develop into.
Hell,
point blank.
No.
Period.
Hell, do you know what? I was talking to somebody who's like a charter member of that club, and I was literally saying that is like patting Matt Millen on the back for drafting Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, essentially.
Yep.
So wait a second. Let me get this straight. You sucked. You got high picks. High picks usually
are good.
Not always. Usually are good. And I'm supposed to applaud you.
Yeah, drafting a 6'4" receiver who can run a 4.3 and jump 45 inches. Whoa! Great call there, man.
And
smartest guy in the room.
If I may add to that, Matt Millen wasn't allowed to have the trades that Al Avila had.
Yeah.
So Al Avila made things worse by his buffoonery with his deals.
He
it's
signed
insanity.
Javi Baez. Period. End of story.
That was his last.
They were desperate. Yeah.
Period. End of story.
His last hurrah.
You are banished forever.